Right, can you say hello?
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to our day. Good morning, guys. So far this morning hasn't been too brilliant, following on from last night. I'm really swollen. I hardly slept. I got a little gunk. I'm overheating way too much. It's kind of making me feel a little bit sick now. And just struggling to cool down. I'm a bit of a funky colour, but you can't really see it on the camera. And it's only just 11 o'clock and I think I'm about to have my nap now. Normally I push it until 12, but I don't think that's going to happen today. I just feel exhausted and a little bit pants. But I'll show you what my swollen foot looks like. So ordinarily this is flat here, and I wouldn't normally have this bump. So if I do that, see, it pits. Pretty. You can see where my foot's actually gone into the sofa. Sophie's flapping my cooling towel because we found, after one of our subscribers let us know about these towels, we bought some and we just by chance flapped it in front of the fan one day and it made it even cooler. So I'm now going to put this on. I'll put a link in the description of these because they're
really good.
Amazing. But for now, I'm going to nap. And this is one of the main ways I like to wear it. So I just put it on my head, wrap it around like a bit of a bandana so there's the back, and then just tie it. I tie it around like my ponytail kind of thing. I don't know if you saw that or not. Just so it stops it from moving a little bit whilst I'm sleeping. But I've found so far that this has helped with my migraines and helped with cooling me down. Win-win. So Soph's just woke me up because I went to sleep for 2.5 hours. Do not feel like I've slept for 2.5 hours. I feel
You don't look like it either.
so unwell. But I just can't put my finger on what it is that's making me feel unwell. Albert! Being all cute in the garden, going ruff, 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 ruff.
It's
literally
not
continual.
loud,
It's not, but it is still very annoying. And Soph woke me up because she had made bread.
It was her time to wake up anyway.
Yeah.
It just so happened it was perfect timing for warm, buttery bread.
Yay.
Freshly made.
She could have put some cherry curd on one, but, you know.
Ruin the flavour of the bread for the first time you're eating it.
Bread.
Yeah.
I was like, did you vlog it? No. I was like, I can't believe that we've been vlogging for nearly 2 years. And the first thing that doesn't come to your mind is vlogging.
In my defence, I took it out of the oven and then it was time to wake you up. So by that point I was just like, right, gotta wake her up. Pick up bread, hold in front of fan. This isn't waking her up.
I did smell it though the second I did wake up.
Yeah, well I think you did start smelling it when you were still asleep because your face went... It was really funny and I was just like, I think that worked. That you didn't actually wake up. So.
No, I've just realised, well, I look like a pirate.
Oh,
with my stripy top on as well.
You're a pirate.
It reminds me of...
I wanted to say something about having a big booty, but I thought that might be inappropriate.
Yeah, it reminds me of one of the pirates from Peter Pan. Is it Smee? Smee? If I can find the one that looks like me currently, I'll let you know, but I'm going to go enjoy some bread. Yay! She was trying to take it initially. What is it, baby girl? Alba?
Take it to Mummy.
Wow! Yeah! And Dixie just chucked me a reindeer. Wow, Alba! Wow, Dixie! Do you recognise that smell, Alba?
Oh, it's got a nice handle to chew and crunch and bit.
Is that nice, Alba? Yeah, it's like a really cool, tightly wrapped handle. Yep. There you go, Mum.
You're knackered.
And what?
Knackered.
What is it, Alba?
That your baggie. Wow.
Cute.
Are you doing it?
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm really excited. As you guys know, we buy makeup and stuff from Equinox, and they recently brought out their first original Equinox palette, and it looked so beautiful and so cool, and I got really excited, and I really wanted it, but we couldn't afford it at that point. And so Charlie was just like, it's alright, you'll get one. They'll probably bring them back in stock at some point, because it's like a limited stock. So we've just had an Equinox delivery of lots of face masks and everything, and I saw it through the bubble wrap. It's so pretty! And then, hang on, how do I get it? Oh, and then it slides out. Oh, and this is also so pretty. And then, oh, I'm so excited. Look at the colours.
Look at that yellow.
Look at the green. Look at the
they're
pink.
so
Look at
vibrant.
the blue. Oh, I'm excited.
Oh, and the orange.
I might be playing around with these in a minute.
Yay!
Yay!
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And the letter about COVID has arrived. So I'm going to be reading that and finding out what the new guidance is saying.
Hi. First of all, we also have a Smee from Peter Pan.
Hello, Spee.
Hi.
But more importantly, can you sit next to Dad, because we have something to say.
Oh, God. I think she's getting married.
No. We just had a letter from the government.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the
Yeah.
6th of July,
Yeah.
we can visit you in the house, and we can hug, and we can be a support bubble. That's 12 days. We get to see
I
you.
had a letter saying I have to go into a
No.
more confined.
No, don't be mean. I'm crying. No.
Fine.
We get to see you.
We're allowed to meet one person and one person only outside, and that is about it.
Yeah.
And we thought, well, your mother, her mother, she don't get visitors. Ow! Get down.
But yeah, it said that from the 6th of July, which is in 12 days' time, we are allowed to go and visit one other household, and we can be in the house with them, and we're even allowed to stay overnight.
As well now.
We're
allowed in the house as well, because I wasn't
Yeah.
sure about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, from the 6th of July.
It says-
12 days.
It says
But
you
you're not allowed to cut.
Yeah! We're allowed to hug!
you may form
Yeah?
Yeah!
you may from this date, if you wish, also form a support bubble with one other household. All those in a support bubble will be able to spend time together inside each other's homes, including overnight, without needing to be socially distanced.
Oh, in other words, if you're a couple, you can have sex, yeah. Obviously not us.
Why would we come over to your house to have sex?
That's so awkward.
The word.
Well, we can come visit you.
However,
I was thinking this, our support bubble was going to be, isn't Courtney.
the only thing is though, is that obviously you guys nor us would be able to then go visit anyone else in their houses.
We've already told everybody we're not going to meet them. We can't go and see Nellie because she gets visitors from Claire.
Yeah.
Deborah's going there all the time. It's not safe.
No.
We will not.
But we
There's
can
only
come see
one
you.
lot that we will visit, and that's going to have to be you.
I'm so happy.
Seeing as you lot have been basically wrapped up in your house the same as us, it's an obvious choice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because neither of us lot are ill. And none of us are ill. Well, we're ill, but we're not ill.
Yeah, we haven't got COVID. How funny that I coughed at the same time.
Yeah. I'm so excited. Get ready for some visitors.
Alright.
Does that mean you have to put diesel in your car?
I don't even know how much we've got. I'm so excited.
Do not go anywhere without putting diesel in your car.
Unless we've got like half a tank, I won't.
We can go in the middle of the night though and then pay up the pump.
Oh, we'll have to check. Because sometimes they shut
Have
it.
you started your car since you've been?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've got her to do it.
Because diesel's got to have it.
So this little butthole,
This very happy butthole.
yeah, just gave her mummies a heart attack. There she was, led at the top of the stairs to me, like she does every night, but it's getting earlier and earlier that she's starting it.
She threw down a toy for her 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, and it's only 8:05. And one of next door's cats must have walked across our path and jumped up like to the metal bars like they normally do. And because Dix was at the top of the stairs, she saw said cat, then went bombing it down the stairs.
Which I thought that like she'd fallen down the stairs and it was really
It was
violent,
that
and
fast.
It was awful.
And then Abba went out, and I think we called her name about 10-15 times between us. And she
I
was,
would have said more like each.
and I said she couldn't have gone over because we would have heard, like, the gate wouldn't have been pushed over, we would have heard it. And then we was just like getting to the point of, why is she not responding? Albert's coming in, why isn't she? And I was just like, I think you might need to check just in case she's jumped the gate, because this little butthole has also jumped out of the car before, out of the window, and jumped in the car through the window. So we know she has a bit of spring in her step.
I do.
And obviously she wasn't making any noise. She wasn't coming in. She wasn't responding to her name. And then just as Soph gets up to go check, and she's like...
Just merrily trots.
Just like,
Not
yeah.
even trots. It's slower than a trot.
Yeah, like, what's your issues, Mums? Yeah, I'm alright. Why are you worrying?
Yeah, just enjoying life.
And then she just grabbed Angry Bird and chucked Angry Bird at us.
She had to hunt him out though because she'd lost it, didn't she?
Yeah, and that's how much she doesn't care. I remember yesterday that we said that we would update you on what I'd heard from my mum and my sister. Ooh, you want to count on me now? Because last night I just couldn't function, and I'm barely functioning again tonight. It's just starting to get a little bit worse again. But yesterday morning, my sister contacted the GP again because the pain is not easing and it's getting worse in the abdomen that she's had. And she was in hospital for last Friday? I'm making that up.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Friday, because I said that if she doesn't get discharged, she'll be in over the weekend.
Yeah.
The GP told her that she had to go back to hospital, and that they were going to ring ahead and speak to somebody so that they know that she was coming and know what that she was there for, because her bloods are all over the shot and her temperature is still really high. So when she gets there, the first doctor was like really good and said, we'll do another scan, and then following on for that, unless something is pretty obvious on the scan, then we'll do a scope for your, like, the camera will go for your belly button, and we'll just like explore and see if we can find anything. So she went and had the scan, came back, but by that point the doctors had changed over, because on the assessment unit they you do like a ward round in the morning, and like generally a ward round in the afternoon, because you're not long-term patients there. It's literally just the assessment unit, and then you get moved on to wherever, like whatever ward specialises to help you. And the doctor in the afternoon was like, there's still nothing wrong with, like, showing up on your scan. And she was like, okay, but well, are we going to go ahead with the scope then, like the other doctor said? And he was like, let me just have a feel around first of all. He had like pushed around on her stomach, then went to her back, and she's got problems with her hips and spine like I have, because her hips dislocate all the time. There was clearly something in our family that's just never got picked up, and it's just getting picked up as we're getting older because the damage is done. And obviously, like me, you poke around on the spine, it's gonna hurt. And the doctor was just like, all of this is stemming from your spine, the pain that's in your spine. She was like, I don't think so. The pain is in the front. I've got problems with my back, and my spinal pain wouldn't cause my bloods to be wrong or a temperature. And he was just like, well, this is what it is. So we're going to discharge you, and we're going to refer you for physio. And it's like, really?
It's like you all over again, isn't it?
Yeah. To be fair, my sister is in the hospital that I was last in before I moved to Cornwall, and it was probably the worst hospital I'd been in. They told me I had asthma because my parents didn't love me as a child.
Which is always good to hear, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're the ones that turned and said that it was all in my head, wouldn't believe me, turned and said that I wasn't getting reflux as bad as it was, and at that point they had then left it too long that it had burnt my lungs, and that's why I've got scarring on my lungs. So they are a pretty shit hospital.
Yeah.
And it seems like they haven't changed in the 6-7 years I've been down here. But it's still shit that all they've said is, we'll refer you to physio, and nobody's really doing anything about her bloods being bad and the temperature. It's clearly showing there's an infection somewhere. And they're not managing to figure out where, because they're not following through with their tests. It seems like the GP is doing absolutely everything they possibly can, but they can only do so much, and then that's when you got to get referred to the hospital, and that's what they are doing. So we've no clue what's going to happen.
Just hope that they get it sorted soon.
Yes. And then Mum said that Nan also had a call from the gastrointestinal people. If you're new around here, my Nan had a heart attack 18 months ago, nearly. It was like really major, and then since then she's had problems where she keeps passing blood, and it's just, things just aren't right abdominal wise, and she kept being told that it was the medication, she just needs to get adjusted to it. And then it got worse and worse, and then they did a scope and an endoscopy, and they saw that she had a hole in her bowel through to her womb. And just, the world's gone wild again. forgot what I got up to now.
Um,
Oh, like the hole in the womb and whatever else. And she keeps being told, we're not going to do the abdo surgery because your heart's not very well. But the cardiology team won't touch her heart until her bowel's sorted. So we've literally been going back and forth for literally since she's had the heart attack. And the doctor that she spoke to yesterday has said that they will do the endoscopy again, because last time they didn't give her the enemas properly and it didn't clear out her bowel properly, so they could only go so far. So they said that they'll do it again, but they'll give different enemas and they'll do everything to properly clean her out, so that they can actually look at the whole bowel. I don't know why they didn't do that to begin with. It just seems pointless when that's the procedure. So they then turned and said that following that, where they know that the bad bit of bowel actually is now, like once they've done the scan, or endoscopy, whatever, they will then be able to take her to surgery. They'll take out the bit of the bowel that's just really bad, and they'll also take out her womb, because obviously she doesn't need it. She's 70 odd and it's just causing problems at the moment. But the problem is she'll likely be given either a colostomy or an ileostomy, which she's not really happy with. And for those that don't know, that's like where they bring a bit of your bowel up through to your abdominal wall, and then they attach a bag to the outside of your skin that you change regularly, and basically you just poo into that. She's not all that happy with that, but we're trying to convince her that it will be far better than the pain and the discomfort and the lack of dignity that she's got now. But then also the surgeon was like, the other issue is it's a 50-50 chance as to whether you'd come off the table. And when I spoke to Mum last night, I was like, it's a 50-50 chance for anybody, because nobody knows how that person's going to react to an anaesthetic. And even with me, every time I have surgery, it's 50-50 chance, because I react badly to anaesthetics. I've had respiratory arrests from them, and literally nobody knows how they're going to react. So it's just a case of trying to convince my nan that this surgery is the best thing.
And it could give her a quality of life.
Yeah. And no pain, and it will just be life-changing. So they said that they'll do that scan probably in 6 to 8 weeks' time when COVID's a little bit more, like,
Gone.
Hopefully. We don't know. With everything easing up, they're talking about it coming back at winter time anyway. So yeah, we just gotta keep our fingers crossed that both my nan and my sister get things sorted out, and it doesn't get to the point that it's so bad that it's irreversible, because that wouldn't be good.
No.
So I'm gonna crack on and just chill, probably. I did go to start a pen pal, but I just don't think I'm gonna do it. And yeah, so thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.